about the sweeping changes the bill will bring, especially for the low-income earners and small businesses across the country. The chairman said that key highlights of the reform included the exemption of low-income earners from paying the personal income tax and the removal of VAT from basic essentials such as food, education, and health care. Oyedele added that it included a 0% corporate income tax rate for small businesses, adding that the bill had great benefits, especially for the masses, although it was welcomed with misconceptions and attacks. Oyedele said the approach for the reform was to try and understand what the issues were and where the problems were coming from. The federal government has reduced electricity supply and sales to the junta-ruled Niger Republic by 42%, cutting it down from 80 megawatts to 46 megawatts. The measure has caused the country's electricity production to fall by 30 to 50% and forced state-owned power company Nigelec to impose planned power cuts that can last several days, especially in Niamey. This was disclosed by Niger's Energy Minister Hawa Amado in an interview after complaints by its citizens and an improved adoption of solar energy sources. It will be recalled that Nigeria suspended much of its electricity exports to the West African nation as part of regional sanctions against the junta that toppled civilian President Mohamed Bazoum in July 2023. The police said 2 key suspects have been arrested in connection with attacks on 30 communities, leaving over 100 persons dead, houses razed, and many displaced. In response to the relentless attacks, Plateau State Governor Caleb Mutfwang announced a restriction on night grazing and a ban on transportation of cattle by vehicle in the state after 7 in the evening, effective Wednesday. The governor also announced restrictions on the use of motorcycles from 7 p.m. to 6 in the morning across the state until further notice. In the state broadcast, Mutfwang said the steps were to restore calm and strengthen vigilance in the state. The announcement comes as operatives of the Nigeria police arrested 2 key suspects in connection with the recent attacks in Bokos. Civil and public servants are the change agents, as the change agents have been called upon to complement the giant strides of Ogun State government. Recognizing the effectiveness of any administration is likely dependent on constant reforms and innovations that would lead to improved service delivery. The Ogun State Head of Service, Mr. Kehinde Onosoya, made this known in his address while declaring open a day retreat organized for staff and selected change agents in the civil service by the Bureau of Public Service Reforms with the theme Effective Implementation and Coordination of Reform Initiatives, held at the Simeon Adebo Library Conference Hall, Kuto, Abeokuta. Details are in this package.
Regular training of the workforce has been the hallmark of the present administration in Ogun State under the watch of Governor Dapo Abiodun. In confirmation of this, top civil servants in the state public service recently attended a 5-day strategic leadership and management course at the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, Oba Dr. Sikiru Kado Adetono School of Governance Studies, Olabisi Onabanjo University at Galway, where they were enjoined to be change agents and tasked on replicating the training in their various ministries, departments and agencies for overall excellent performances. Coming on the heels of this is another training for staff and selected change agents in the civil service by the Bureau of Public Service Reforms. Addressing participants, Head of Service Mr. Kehinde Onosoya said the retreat aligns with the firm commitment of the state government for continuous training and retraining of its workforce for the vital role they need to play in the successful implementation of government policies.
These service is very important. That means capacity building is very, very important. So you have the opportunity to learn and remain. You have the opportunity to shape the trajectory, and you have the opportunity to contribute your quota to the development of your states.
The head of service posited that the retreat will better equip the participants drawn from selected ministries, departments and agencies to implement and coordinate effective reforms geared towards a better and improved service delivery that will enhance accountability, transparency and integrity in the civil service of the state.
In the state of today, we have what we call paradigm shifts in the way we do things. Things have really changed, and there has been a lot of improvement. And if truly civil service is very important, that means capacity building is very, very important. So you have the opportunity to learn and remain. You have the opportunity to shape the trajectory, and you have the opportunity to contribute your quota to the development of your states.
Earlier in his welcome address, the Permanent Secretary, Bureau of Public Service Reforms, Mr. Jola Oyinaye, said the retreat was to key into the capacity development program of government aimed at enhancing the smooth operations of government business. There were goodwill messages by permanent secretaries who congratulated the participants, describing them as change agents and catalysts in the change process. Participants at the training appreciated Governor Abiodun for his continuous commitment to train the workforce for improved service delivery and pledged their unalloyed support to the vision and mission of the state government.
In line with its food security agenda, the Ogun State government, through the Ogun State Economic Transformation Project, Ogtv, has flagged off the harvesting of broilers in Mowe Zone. The State Commissioner for Agriculture and Food Security, Bolu Owotomo, reiterated the government's commitment to ensuring affordable food for residents. Margaret Okulola reports.
Through Ogun State Economic Transformation Project, Ogun State government implemented an intervention which will strengthen poultry farming, particularly broiler, and the value chain through matching grant support to farmers. The intervention covered up to 30% of input costs, including poultry feed and veterinary services, with maximum support capped at 80 bags of poultry feed per 500 birds, with production cycles spanning approximately 6 to 8 weeks. Now it is harvesting time of broilers for off-takers, Mowe Zone, in Obafemi Wode local government, officially supervised by Ogun State Commissioner for Agriculture and Food Security, Bolu Owotomo.
This is in line with the agenda of His Excellency Prince Abiodun to ensure that there is abundance in food production in Ogun State and also the livelihood of the farmers are enhanced. His Excellency Prince Abiodun is a farmer-loving governor and will continually do everything to boost food production in Ogun State and also enhance the livelihood of our farmers.
Project Coordinator, Ogun State Economic Transformation Project, Mrs. Musumola Owodusi, on her part said the project is a multi-sectoral one, with one of the sectors being agriculture, that aims to improve the livelihood of farmers and provide food security across the state.
We have supported about 220 plus farmers here, and each of them have been supported with about 80 bags of food for about 500 birds. Most of them have achieved about 2,100 kilograms weight-wise.
On behalf of the over 850 farmers in groups and clusters in Mowe Zone, Chairman of the Poultry Association of Nigeria, Ahmed Ali, enlisted continuous partnership and collaboration with Ogun State government.
Let me thank the Ogun State government for this project. It's a significant one for us because over the years, farmers have been clamoring for collaboration with government because it's not possible for us to operate alone. Most of us, what we have is the space, but we really do not have the wherewithal to feed those birds to maturity. But with this grant coming from Ogun State government, that's Ogtv, it actually has reduced the burden on farmers.
Honorable Owotomo, alongside the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, Mrs. Kendi Jokotoyi, and staffers of Ogtv, inspected the production facility in order to curb post-harvesting losses and reduce it to the barest minimum. The there is provision for off-takers as facilitated by Ogtv, who will get the broilers to the market for consumers. Margaret Okunola, Ogtv News.
The federal government has declared Friday, April 18 and Monday, April 21 as public holidays to mark Good Friday and Easter Monday. The Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji Ojo, disclosed this in a statement by the ministry's permanent secretary, Magdalene Ajani. Announcing this on behalf of the federal government, the Minister of Interior, Dr. Olubunmi Tunji Ojo, extended heartfelt congratulations to Christians across the country on the joyous occasion. The minister stressed the importance of embodying the virtues of the sacrifice and love displayed by Jesus Christ, having to die for the redemption of man. Tunji Ojo also wants the citizens to extend love and goodwill to their neighbors through acts of kindness and generosity. Donald Trump's special envoy and top diplomat, Marco Rubio, will hold talks with European counterparts in Paris to discuss efforts to end the war in Ukraine. Ukraine's foreign minister and defense minister have arrived in French capital to take part in the discussions. The talks, which UK Foreign Secretary will also attend, form the highest level of transatlantic engagement about the war since February. European diplomats have said they will urge the US to put more pressure on Russia to agree on an unconditional ceasefire. The race to host the 2028 and 2030 editions of the National Sports Festival has officially begun as the federal government declares the bidding process open to all interested states. This announcement came during an extraordinary session of the National Council on Sports held in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. A key resolution from the meeting is a shift in the festival's schedule, moving it from the traditional April to May slot to a new window in November and December. Officials say the adjustment will give host states more time to plan and prepare adequately, ensuring better organization and wider participation in the games. In another development, Ogun State Commissioner for Sports, Honorable Wasiu Isiaka, proposed that traditional Nigerian games such as Ayu Abula be made core components of the festival rather than optional events. According to the Commissioner, elevating these indigenous sports will promote cultural heritage and strengthen national unity through shared traditions. And to end the news at midday, life is a succession of lessons which must be lived to be understood. We have come to the end of the Ogtv news at midday. Many thanks for watching. Good afternoon.